Right, so I've come on board because my background since leaving the police has been marketing and communications, and also looking into companies that require some revenue streams to come in. I think Stalybridge Celtic is in that position. We're very aware of the club, being a local lad living around here and bringing my children up round here, and my wife being from here. I'm very aware of how important this football club is to the community, and that is me all over. It's a passion for football, passion for grassroots football more than anything. And my association with the club now isn't just coming in as a sort of business solution. It's also, I'm an avid fan as well, so I'll be at every match that I can be, and I'll be shouting as much as everybody else is from the terraces.
So tell us about your experiences so far, because you became commercial director, was it about 3 months ago now?
It's about a month and a half ago, yeah, right. So it's not that long ago. There's been a lot of activities in that time, and that's what we wanted. Myself and Wendy Mackey have been brought in. Wendy's the CEO of the club, and the whole reason for us to come in is to drive the club as a business going forward.
And I believe Rob Gorski's set you and Wendy a target of £500,000 each year. Do you think that's achievable?
I think anything's achievable if you put the right mindset to it and you get the business plan right, and that's what we're working on at the moment. We need to be more commercially driven, not losing the fact that we still want to be a community football club and a family club. Rob has got a vision. We've all got the same vision in terms of a transition of the club to take it to a new level, but that's more in the way of increasing the amount of people who come to the games, increasing sponsorship. I'd put an appeal out there now to say that if you've got a business in Tameside, we'd like you to get behind Stalybridge Celtic. It's a good investment. There always will be a return on investment from a football club like this. It's a great brand. We've got a great place here at Bowerfold. We've got an amazing history since 1909. And if you want to be part of that with your company, then I'd say to you, come and speak to me and we'll make you part of the Stalybridge Celtic family.
So you mentioned Rob's vision, then part of that is to build a new clubhouse and get a 4G pitch as a main revenue stream. Can you tell us where we're up to with that?
I think the best way of looking at it now going forward is to see it as steps. We're going to go in steps. We're going to look through the alternatives, the options that are out there, and we're just going to progress this football club as we see fit going forward. We're not going to jump into any major projects. We're going to take everything on board. We'll take all suggestions on board as well. But we're not going to say that's the vision in a picture. It's a vision of moving forward responsibly, making sure that the club is stable in every aspect, supporting, most importantly for the fans on the pitch, supporting Simon and Gaz, and making sure that the players that we get are players that are suitable for our football club, and that's a high bar. And if we can get the funding to do that, take us up the league, get us to progress to the next league up, then that's what we really want to do. That is the vision. But along the way, we want to make this stadium somewhere that everybody wants to come to, a welcoming environment, and also to give good finance to the business so that we can do the things that other clubs maybe can't do. We can bring in a much bigger family feel to the area. But with the social club, we're now using Bowerfold Events next door. Very graciously, they let us use that as our clubhouse now for the social club while the matches are on, but it's also a business at the same time on normal days. But as a social club, it's just fantastic. It's a beautiful place to go. You can have a nice drink, affordable food and drink while you're watching the match. Great friendly staff and very nice welcome. The response from the fans has been brilliant, and visiting fans as well, and players. What I'd say about that is that's till the end of the season. What we do after that, I don't know. It's one of those things we're going to have to sit down and look at the options again. We're not going to be using the old social club, so we need to look at plans for how we progress. Whether that means carrying on using Bowerfold or we build a new premise will depend on a lot of different aspects. So yeah, we'll keep you informed.
Yeah. So we were both walking around Bower Events earlier on. Yeah. It's looking fantastic in there. You're actually having Sky TV fitted at the moment for tonight's game between Arsenal and United. Will that be open to the public? It's
open to the public, yeah, tonight at 5 to 8 kick-off. Great match to start with, FA Cup tie. Fantastic game, United v Arsenal. They ruined my childhood when I was 10 years old by beating us in '79. So I'll always remember Giggs's winner to get us into the final when we won the treble as well. So it's got so much history around that tie. So it's very fitting that that's the first match we're going to be showing. Come and support Stalybridge Celtic by coming to that, because we're going to be talking to everybody who comes about what's happening with the club, and obviously trying to entice people to come to the next match, which is a week tomorrow, and that's against Whitby, and then we're home again the week after on the 9th of Feb against Witton Albion, which is a great Northwest game. So yeah, that's what we want, people to come down, enjoy a beer, come and watch the game on the new screens that we've got. We've got Sky TV, we've got BT Sports as well for the European games next week. So it's a great chance to come and socialise and enjoy yourself at Stalybridge Celtic.
So will Bower events be open throughout the week as well on Tuesdays and Wednesdays when the Champions League is on?
Absolutely, yeah. So it's going to become a venue linked to the club. We're going to have that association that all our fans, we want you to come and spend your time in a lovely venue and to get to know more about the club. The venue's run as a private business for conferences and events and weddings and funerals and everything. So, you know, you can speak to the staff there about that. But primarily for us, obviously, it's about Stalybridge Celtic. So we're getting the fans to come to the ground before the match rather than go elsewhere, because we've never had that, you know, convenience of doing that. So if they can come here before the match, enjoy some food, have a hot drink, have a breakfast maybe on match days, and then during the match you can have a pint, and then nice and warm during the half-time period, and then after the match stay a bit. Yeah. And meet the players and, you know, and socialise with the other fans. That's what we want. We want it to be a family feeling and a good Saturday afternoon out.
Brilliant stuff. So you mentioned manager Simon Howarth earlier. Now he's taken on responsibility as head of academy recently, taking over from Dave Sullivan. Was that purely a cost-cutting measure? No,
not at all. That's because we've got a fantastic manager, and I'm not apologetic in saying that. And Simon is just an inspiration. We think that we've got one of the best managers in the league by far, and for him to actually train and coach and give his experience from Premier League standard, don't forget, and Gaz, the same thing, for our first team, but then to say to the academy lads who are aspiring to get to the first team that these guys have played at international level. Wow, and I know I'd have loved that at 16, 17 to get that sort of coaching. So that's what we're trying to do. We're up in the bar. We were one of the first academies in the league, and you know, now we want to get back up there to where we were before in terms of the standard that we're providing. It's been a tough season for the guys in the academy. However, as you know, we're not doing badly mid-table in the first team, and a couple of the lads have already played for the first team in a cup tie against Runcorn, and I, you know, to see lads who've been playing in the academy now playing for the first team, the other lads must be thinking, that's where I want to go. And Simon's that kind of inspirational guy who'll get them there, and his methodical way of working out the best with what we've got. I think, you know, you look at some of the players we've got at the moment, Neil Kengney, you look at Dougie who's come from Bury on loan, outstanding footballers, and you know, Scotty and people like that. And that's what, if we get these guys to keep playing this standard of football, we'll get success on the pitch. But, you know, when you go away to, like, I went to Marine with the team last week, the comments from their fans about our team, it's great to hear. You know, we've got some quality, and we can go places.
So given the club's position, do you have to focus on the youth and the academy, bringing through players into the first team? Is that what it's about, given the lack of resources and cash on hand?
I think it's for me to bring the cash in, if I'm being blunt, and that's there's no doubt about that, and I'm very transparent about my motives, but it's good motives, and you know where the money will be spent. We've got to look at the stadium, we've got to look at improvements across the board, but one of the main priorities for me is to get funds to Simon directly so he can go and get good players to come in. Yes, you're right, you've got to use what you've got, but as you know at United and City on that level, and every other club around here, sometimes the great players come through what you've already got, and that's what we'll be focusing on over the next couple of years, yeah.
So in terms of yourself, getting out into the community, approaching local businesses, how's that gone so far during your 1.5 months there?
It's been great, yeah. The reaction is quite overwhelming, to be honest. There's a passion for this football club that I knew there was some passion. I didn't realise how deep it was, I'll be honest with you. And yeah, it's you've got people who have maybe not been to Bowerfold for 20 years, but they still support Stalybridge Celtic, or they still want to be involved with Stalybridge Celtic. What I've got to get over to them is that we are going through a new vision, and we are, you know, progressing at a speed that might seem like, wow, where's this suddenly come from? But it's very much driven by Wendy Mackey, who's a very successful local businesswoman. Everybody who meets Wendy knows exactly, you know, she does what she says she's going to do. I'm of that school as well. The two of us work extremely well together, and we're not going to stop, if that makes sense. We're going to get to where we want to be. For our chairman and for our board, mainly for our supporters, this is going to be a football club that they're going to be proud of, and I want them to feel that they're part of that journey. Anybody who comes on board, whether it's a sponsor, an advertiser, most importantly a fan, that when you come here, you're part of something really big. You're part of the Stalybridge Celtic family.
So I think it's fair to say, in recent years, the club has stagnated on and off the pitch. What do you put that down to? Because I know when Rob held the Meet the Manager event and Meet Yourself and Wendy a few months ago, he basically said the same thing. He said the club will die if it doesn't change. What do you think's gone wrong in recent years?
I don't think anything's gone wrong as such as everybody's been through a journey as a football club. It's no point in looking backwards. That's what I would say, Mark. I think that now's the time to look forward. Everybody who's involved with this football club, originally and now, when they came to work or came to volunteer at this football club, did so for the right intentions. Times change. Yeah. You know, customers need different things. Football clubs have been through a real roller coaster, really. Money that comes into football now at the top echelons doesn't drip down to us. We've got to really work hard for it. And the success of this club did bring revenue. Whether you say it's managed well or not, it doesn't really matter. It's what we're going to do going forward. I wouldn't be having this conversation with you today if those people hadn't put in the shift to get it to where it is now. And I'm proud of them and what they've done. The amount of silent heroes within this building and around this club is incredible. There's people who give time. They don't even come and tell you what they're doing. They just crack on with it. And that sort of passion is what we want more of. We do want to be more professional, there's no doubt about it, and I'd like to give people more acknowledgement for what they're doing. But that'll take time, and it'll take people's trust in what the vision is. But when you look at things that have gone by, I think now we need to just look at lessons learned. What went well, and build on that, build on what we've got, and then start to introduce things that we know will go well. But the main thing about it is communicating that to everybody in the club.
So the club does have an ambition to get back into the National League
North. Oh, absolutely.
A lot of supporters rightly believe that's where the club should be.
Yeah.
How difficult is it though to compete in that division now? You know, you've got the likes of Stockport County, York City, some big former Football League sides.
Yeah.
How do you compare in terms of finances?
I think you've got to forget the finances as they stand. Forget about that. It's where we're going to get to. So it's the next level. There's no point in going for it if you're not going to be ready for it on all fronts. Simon's completely ready for it. He's got that ambition, he's got that drive, he's got that focus. He's got Gaz right next to him, shoulder to shoulder. On the pitch, we haven't got any problems with it. We can take on anybody, I'm sure of that, as we go forward. You've got to keep topping up, though, like any squad, and make that a good thing. That's going to take money, it's going to take good deals, it's going to take players wanting to play for Stalybridge Celtic, which I do believe they do want to, which is a great thing. But as for the finances, when we move up there, that's for me and Wendy to make sure that we absolutely shore that up within the club. We need support on that, and we need that from local businesses, we need it from sponsors, and we need it from the fans to get right behind us to do that.
So just finally, looking long term now, I think it's fair to say when you come to Bowerfold on a Saturday, the majority of the home support is based on the older generation. How do you bring in new blood? Do you go into schools, encourage them to come down, launch ticket initiatives and stuff like that? How will you bring them through? Yeah,
absolutely. We've just launched a ticket initiative, funnily. I know you didn't know that, but we have done. So, for example, I'm a governor at St Peter's School. All the families at St Peter's School and all the Stalybridge clubs, all the Stalybridge schools, have an opportunity to come to every home match, come and see our community manager, Mike Smith, on the day, and a family of 4, 2 adults, 2 children, will only cost £5 to come and watch a football match for an afternoon, which I think is pretty good deal. The fact that at the same time as me doing that, Hyde United had given the same offer to my school, I was a little bit upset about that, but I'll let it go. But that's great. Local football clubs doing the same initiatives. Brilliant. Of course we want people through the door. We're starting with Stalybridge on that front, but obviously we welcome people from across Tameside who might have ties with Stalybridge Celtic. So come along. The other thing is, if you run a community group or you run a school or you run a business, pick up the phone to me, give me a call or email me, and find out what we can do for you, because we do want that. We run a great community scheme with Mike Smith, and we've got a foundation there that we're very proud of, and people might not realise what we do, but we do a heck of a lot with walking football and lots of other initiatives in the area. So, you know, we want to do more. So if we're not getting communication off people as to what they want, it's very difficult to do anything about it. So I'd really say to people, get on board, get involved. Don't be frightened of asking, because if you don't ask, you don't get.